Hey everyone, and welcome to the second part of the Price of Neutrality. I went ahead and did all the tedious nonsense with collecting things, and I'll tell you why I did that afterwards, because technically for me, it doesn't really have a purpose, but I didn't want to deprive you of the short amount of conversation, I guess, still.
Geralt?
Time to feast. Here you go, pups.
They won't accept anything from you. I'll feed them myself. Diablo! Banshee! Here is the rune I promised you, Witcher.
Nice bauble.
Geralt?
Right, so he's saying nice bauble here, but this DLC, I guess we're gonna call it, side story, does have romance cards. And the romance cards are just, because it's such a short story, I guess they had to make it really specific on when you can and can't get anything. You can get hers, Deirdre, and you can get Sabrina's, and you have to do her quest for it, obviously, and then instead of saying nice bauble, you can say something else, and you can initiate getting a card. However, if you want to do that, you have to suck up, basically. Like, whatever you say to Deirdre, you have to be so sweet, and just, no matter what you're thinking, you have to love everything she says, and just agree with her on everything, you know. I didn't do that, because I find that very ungeralty, and also, this is Eskel's surprise child, so this would be akin to Eskel sleeping with Ciri, and that just does not really jive with me at all, so, you know, she's a child, basically.
I'll be going.
That's not okay. So we're not doing that, but if you want to sleep with her, do that. Do her Hungry Like a Wolf quest, and you can, in fact, sleep with both Sabrina and Deirdre in the same point, or in the same story, the same save file. You just have to be super hypocritical and suck up to both of them and just agree with both of them, being all, hey, yeah, what a terrible thing they did to you in the castle, Deirdre. Oh yeah, Sabrina, you were totally right in doing what you did to Deirdre, and just... It's dreadful. You would just have to be a heartless, terrible person, basically. Or just not care and only want to see the cards. Now, I'm gonna be real with you here. The cards are also just not that good. They're not very good cards. I'm pretty sure neither of them have nudity. And I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm pretty sure neither of them have nudity. Yeah, the witches are kind of gathered here to make a decision, but we're running for Sabrina first. But I'll put them on the screen anyway. It's not really a spoiler because it's literally just cards, but they're just not that exciting. Stop that, centipedes. I think that's all that can really be said on that. It's even worse for Sabrina. You just give her the meat and she puts them on a table somewhere, so I'm doing a whole lot of running for the sake of showing you that conversation. Please appreciate. And also, wait, there was something else I wanted to say. Well, that completely slipped my mind. Nice one. Oh, well, at least we're here. Hi, Sabrina. I have come bearing bloody meat, as you asked.
Witcher?
Here's the thing.
I have the livers you asked for.
Be an angel and place them on the vivisection table. I'll tend to them soon. And here is the sword I mentioned. It's a bit dusty, but sharp as ever.
Thanks.
No, thank you. I didn't expect such kindness from one who would gladly drive me away from Kaer Morhen.
I'm hoping we can resolve this other matter.
So, ulterior motives. Did you believe I would forget my plans in gratitude for your assistance?
It's not like that. I just thought that two reasonable people might be able to figure out their differences.
Geralt, I will not back down nor agree to any compromise. I want the girl. I want to eliminate the threat she represents.
To my power, but not much else.
Who was Robin?
No one important, Witcher.
Deirdre says otherwise. She's convinced you cast a spell on him.
One could say that, though every woman uses magic of that kind.
Men seduced through natural means don't generally lose their minds.
Perhaps I helped myself with some subtle spell I don't recall. It's of no importance. If you wish to know so badly, I will tell you how it was.
Okay, she's gonna spin you some shit that don't make no sense, but I'm all ears.
I'm all ears, but don't lie.
Robin was the prince's huntsman, a strong, charismatic man. He trained the prince's bear-hunting dogs and lived above the kennel. The girl walked in on us one night. She became enraged, and I could do nothing for her aura was strong by that time. Robin sought to defend me, and followed her down to the kennel to speak reason to her. The dogs attacked him. It was horrible. And Deirdre joined in their howls. The dogs barked and growled horribly.
No two ways about it. You behaved like a true sorceress.
I refused to be provoked. That night, Robin changed. He acquired an intense fear of animals. The prince cast him out after a few weeks. That is all.
Right, so I do want to say, obviously, I don't believe Sabrina either, and I know that Sabrina, as opposed to Deirdre, does have some serious motives to lie. Like, she has reason to lie. But I do think that there is just, like, a partial truth in both stories. I don't think Deirdre is telling the whole truth either. So, it's a mix of both. But I still side with Deirdre because I know Sabrina is a horrible person. Like, I know she is a horrible person. Whereas Deirdre is the surprise child of Eskel, and Eskel is a lovable guy. So, technically speaking, his surprise child is gonna take after that a little bit if you're gonna link it with Destiny, so...
See you soon.
Or eventually, you know, when I side against you. Anyway, I'll walk myself back to the Witchers. I'll be right back. Right, here we are. Eskel doesn't really say anything anymore.
Wolf, gather as much information as
so
you
Lambert also wants to not necessarily side with Deirdre, but, you know.
Failed to spot those archospores? You're getting old, Wolf.
Didn't want to spoil your fun.
Wolf.
What's your take on all this?
Let's show that dandy and his witch what can happen when you threaten witchers. Call it a lesson in respect.
So you think we should get involved?
They came here, leaving us no choice. It would be cowardly to back down. Have you thought about how Eskel will feel if we give up the girl?
I'm trying to get some perspective on everything.
Wolf.
Right, so he also just wants to side against them because he doesn't like that. Like, this is a very Eskel thing, or a very Eskel thing, a very Lambert thing to do. It's just, I hate authority. Let's punch someone, basically. Also, side note, because I forgot about this, but what Sabrina did to the, or says she did, I guess, to the kennel guy, the Robin guy, that's basically what Triss did to Geralt as well. And I'm not sure if they meant to make that a throwback sort of thing. But using magic to aid in seducing someone, that is exactly what Triss did to Geralt. And because we had a conversation about this on stream not too long ago as well, where we were wondering, people were wondering why I had some issues with book Triss, pre-Witcher 3 Triss, I suppose. And that's because that's basically date rape when you think about it. That's if this was like a turnaround and there was a guy who was using magic to convince a woman to sleep with him, I feel like people would be more upset somehow, but I'm pretty upset about that happening in general, which is another reason why I didn't like Sabrina and the story at all, because using magic or any sort of outside influence that isn't just personality or whatever else, you know, looks, doesn't matter. You don't mess with the mind to seduce someone. At least not in those kinds of ways. You know what I mean? Okay, just wanted to get that off my chest as well. Moving on.
See you later.
Wolf.
I think it's time we decided.
I think it's time we decided.
We need to figure out what to do with Deirdre and her brother. Eskel wants everyone to say their piece. This concerns our safety and Kaer Morhen. A mistake could cost us dearly.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
I'll start. I think we should stay out of this, meaning we can no longer shelter the girl. The reason is simple. If we meddle and Sabrina informs Henselt, Kedwen will be off-limits to us for decades.
Lambert?
I don't really care for Deirdre, but I detest the fact that some blue blood who rules Three Cold Hills comes here demanding obedience. This is Kaer Morhen. Royal authority doesn't extend here. I think we need to drive away the noble and the sorceress.
What about you, Eskel?
I'm torn. I understand Vesemir. On the other hand, I owe the girl. I feel some kind of bond. I'm incapable of being objective. I'd like to hear your opinion, Wolf.
No, I also do not know why Eskel's decided to hide out in the corner of the screen there. Or, yeah, okay. Eskel, are you okay, mate? So Vesemir does make a good point here. Whereas, obviously, as I said in the last episode, it's absolutely not feasible for Henselt to attack Kaer Morhen because it's just too costly and a waste of time. Going into Kedwen when there's a price on your head is kind of annoying. I mean, obviously they could just go elsewhere, but since Kaer Morhen is in Kedwen, it would make it annoying to get in there. Still, there wouldn't be an army after them, but they would be on wanted posters, so maybe the townsfolk would try to have a stab at them, you know, with a pitchfork, for example. They couldn't just sleep in a tavern, so they'd basically have to stay out of Kedwen. Now, granted, that would also mean that Kedwen would have a monster problem at some point, so I don't know how feasible that is, but it's something to think about, at least. Still wouldn't necessarily convince me to give in, though, because even if Sabrina does go to Henselt and tells him about it, then, yeah, the worst you can do is not go to Kedwen for a bit. Like, that's the worst that can happen. Whereas at this point, you're just giving up a child to a sorceress who basically wants her dead. Just wants her dead. Not for any reason other than powering Kedwen itself. That's not okay. So we're gonna do the thing. We're not gonna be neutral. This is not neutral. Geralt, this is not neutral. You're picking a side in this case.
We can't let the sorceress get her hands on the girl. It wouldn't be right.
So what do we do about Sabrina and the nobleman?
Deirdre must give up her claims. That should satisfy Merwin. And the sorceress, well, she'll have to live with our decision.
Either that, or I'll turn her lovely little head into something to place on the mantle.
Lambert, save your morbid lines for later. Let's try to resolve this peacefully.
All right. Eskel, Geralt, go see our princess. We'll wait for you here.
Right, so... I love Lambert, I'm sorry. I just love Lambert. Eskel, are you coming with me? Slowly? He's like Yavin in this story. Doesn't know how legs work. Running? What are those? You there yet? Nice. He's catching up. It's fine. Go on, then.
Geralt?
Not Eskel.
We've decided to help you.
Thank you. That means a lot to me.
We need to settle things with your brother. You have to go to the camp with us and tell him that you relinquish your claims to the throne and estate.
Thus stripping Sabrina of support.
A high price, but I see no other choice.
That's settled then.
I'm glad, Deirdre, really.
See, she just immediately says,
All right.
that's cool.
Let's see what Merwin says.
So she wants this resolved, whereas Sabrina would obviously not be so easily persuaded. But she actually just wants to be left alone, which just is more, I wouldn't say evidence necessarily, but it certainly backs up the claim that she's not bloodthirsty, she doesn't want all the power, she just wants to be left the hell alone, live her own life, and not be hunted by Sabrina, basically. Or just mages in general. So I don't know how you can make her bloodthirsty in that sense. Or how anyone can believe that. Which is also why I don't buy that she slaughtered an entire village for no reason and tortured someone to death in front of their daughter's eyes. And I still think that's just Sabrina in a disguise. Okay, I'm ranting a little bit, but it's just... I just want Geralt to be able to say, listen, I don't believe in your black curse nonsense ever at all. If you can give me something solid, then maybe I will, but I don't right now. Let's have our last little chat here with... I think the cook has something to say too.
What?
What's that stench?
My delicacies. Why?
No reason.
No reason. Take care.
Funny guy.
Gods,
Bloody
damn it.
wolves.
I'm too old and tired for this.
I wonder if witches can really deflect bolts.
I feel like everyone ever has asked that question. I don't think anyone has not asked that question. Ever. My littlest tits. Curse words.
To what do we owe this procession?
Merwin, there's a way to resolve this peacefully.
To feed the wolves while saving the sheep.
Very well. I shall hear you out.
Forgetting anyone?
No, this is strictly Merwin's business. We will speak with you too, Sabrina. Later.
Merwin, I am prepared to relinquish my claim to the throne and the lands of Caingorn. I am ready to give up my title as princess.
Unconditionally?
No, but I have only one. You will strike me from your mind. You will cease pursuing me and return home, taking this witch with you.
Deirdre,
Silence, woman. Merwin, you must see through this. This is a trick.
It's not
we will
unreasonable.
draft all the necessary documents here and now, witnesses present. All will be clarified.
Merwin, don't believe them. Remember how Robin ended.
That was your doing, Levisig. You and your magic.
Merwin, order brings to arrest Deirdre. Only then will your title be safe. Without that, you will live in fear, always.
I shall kill you, witch.
Poof.
God damn it.
God damn it, indeed. Oh, don't do that. That's rude. Real quick, by the way. Oh, there it is. Right, so this is, just in case you were wondering, this is the sword that you get. It's not that good. It's fine, but... There. Yo, you can't even do that in combat, Jinsey. Here, so switch it around. There. Doesn't even auto-equip. It's fine, but it's DLC, so no one really cares about upgrades. Sorry, Quartermaster.
Get the fuck out!
I didn't want to do this. I mean, you could have just ignored orders, considering you would have died regardless, but... That's me! Oh, did I just crash? Why, yes, I did. I'll be right back while I restart the game. I like how someone asked a while ago, wow, you don't crash at all? No, yes I do. Right, here we are again. Look, illusionary girl's still here too. Just sort of hanging out, giggling for some reason, you know, as you do. I'm sorry I have to kill you, my scout friend. I did not mean to do that, but you kind of asked for it, I guess. In attacking me. I really don't know why he still fought. How about it? Haskell, get up. Stop sleeping. Stop pretend sleeping.
I knew this would end badly.
Did you though?
Follow Deirdre inside the tent.
But what about Eskel? He's really into this. Also the fact she teleports into the tent instead of just out.
You had it coming, brother. Instead of a prince, you'll be a dead man. And I have a special set of gifts for you, witch. Only the best.
She has gone entirely mad. Witcher, help me! Sabrina, use your magic. We can defeat her.
Magic does nothing to me, brother dear. Geralt, I did not intend to attack Eskel. He scared me. It was an instinctual reaction.
Abandon your plans of revenge on Sabrina. Forgive your brother. Prove the mage is wrong. Prove that you are no beast.
And if I tell you I cannot find it in me to forgive? If I say that I long to put that bitch through real torture? Will you see that as an admission of my guilt?
I'll see you as a morbidly vengeful child, but I'm no judge.
Geralt, don't be a fool. It doesn't take wisdom to see that she has lost her mind. It must be the progressing mutation.
You're only guessing.
Witcher, I should remind you of the letter from King Henselt himself. If anything happens to me, King Henselt will have you all eliminated.
You're like children. Since you want me to decide, I will.
I hope he doesn't actually think that the whole Henselt thing is still something that scares me, because it doesn't. Also, the fact that the wolf is just in the back, sort of sleeping it out. It's like, I'll wait until someone tells me to tear someone up, and then I'll do it. But yeah, this whole thing... sorry, I still can't blame Deirdre. Being hunted for all your life, being raped and then not believed, being cast out, being hunted after that. Being told that you're a monster, basically, for no real reason other than, hey, you were born, is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I have never heard something that dumb, and I would also be ridiculously furious, especially against Sabrina, who's just like, oh my god, guys, it's just a curse. Listen, it's a curse. Hello, just, Geralt, don't be stupid. It's a curse. Okay, yeah, Sabrina's a valley girl now. It's just a curse, Geralt. God. I don't believe her, so... You both wish to use us, but you, Deirdre, attacked Eskel, who may not survive. In addition, you lied. You never wanted a peaceful solution. I do think that she did. I do think that she did. But yeah, she wasn't really given a choice there, so bye, Sabrina!
Sabrina, you must leave. Immediately. Your magic is useless, and your scheming brought us here. But as I said, I am neither judge nor executioner. Just leave.
Geralt, have you gone mad?
No. I don't know that I'm right to do this, but I'm giving you a chance to survive.
But...
No buts. You must go. You played your cards poorly. I don't believe a word of what you say, and something tells me that if you leave, Deirdre and Merwin will figure out their differences.
It seems I have no choice.
Yeah, sod off.
Go now.
Yeah, sod off. Seriously. I need to calm Deirdre. Quickly, calm Deirdre.
What?
I'll get her someday.
I doubt it. One last piece of advice. If you value your life, you'll settle things with your brother, return to Caingorn, and not so much as stick your nose out of your castle for several months, perhaps years.
Easily said. Merwin, can you forgive me? I will relinquish my title. I never craved power, but I need your support. I cannot do this alone.
As the Witcher demonstrated, we have much to learn.
Like camera
I was
angles.
a fool to listen to Sabrina's counsel. I forgive you, Deirdre, and ask you to forgive me.
I'll be going. Eskel's unexpected child, Princess Deirdre Adamain, born in Destiny's shadow. She could have changed her own fate, abandoned vengeance in favor of forgiveness, demonstrated kindness and humanity. The mercenaries were massacred in the fight at the camp. Was it worth it? Was the death of Merton Brings and his mercenaries truly the lesser evil? No one can know that. In any case, Merwin and Deirdre ruled jointly, leading Caingorn during the best time in its history. Several years later, a large crow arrived at Kaer Morhen, carrying a letter bearing the seal of the Princess of Caingorn. Eskel threw it into the fire without reading it, and we never spoke of Deirdre Adamain again.
Yeah, so that was that.
The Witchers never again spoke of Deirdre. Though none ever forgot her, each carrying her memory in his heart.
Or face. Or face, you know, whichever. Yes, this is a short episode today, I'm afraid. But if you hadn't noticed that, yeah, it's not necessarily confirmed, but it pretty much gave Eskel his scar. It happens that far back, basically, so before the whole Ciri thing as well. Because she lashed out, Deirdre, and her sword struck Eskel. There, you know, the whole scarf thing. Yeah, you already know that, obviously. But that is the origin of the scar, as insinuated. Again, it's not confirmed. They don't say, oh, and then he had a scar for the rest of his life, and it was awful, and it hurt so much. Ow. But it's basically that. I always thought this was the best ending. Just a joint ruling. Everyone lives happily ever after. We already know what happens to Sabrina if you've played The Witcher 2, obviously, so... But yeah, she is never mentioned again. I always thought that was kind of weird, because she is still his child surprise, and the Witcher story, the Witcher lore, the books especially, make it very clear that you cannot run from destiny. So if they want to keep this canon, if they want to keep this origin of the scar, and Deirdre being his child of destiny as canon, as part of the games, then technically speaking, there should still be something linking to Deirdre at one point in a Witcher game. Or, you know, I'm not going to say a book because it's obviously not part of the book lore, it's part of the game fanfiction, but technically speaking, we should still hear of Deirdre eventually, considering. Unless she dies, but we don't hear about that either, so... That was the story. That was the story of Deirdre and Merwin, who we don't really care that much about, and Eskel, who just hates children at this point if they're not Ciri. Can you blame the guy? Right, that was the final bit of The Witcher 1 for real this time. Again, I'm gonna show you real quick. Side Effects was also voice acted and made by CDPR. So if you want to play that, that's the only one that's voice acted as far as I know still. And the rest of these are all player made. The wedding, if I'm not wrong, is the one with Yennefer and Geralt where they actually get married. I'm pretty sure. I think that's what they based it on anyway. Blah blah blah. You have to play it to see blah 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 blah. I'm pretty sure that's what they did. Because there's... this is completely unrelated, or entirely related, because I actually have not really played this one. Only heard of it. There is a story written by Sapkowski. So... canon. He actually also noted that it was fan fiction of his own fiction, basically. But Sapkowski wrote a story about Geralt marrying Yennefer. So if it wasn't clear enough already that Sapkowski considers Geralt Yennefer being together canon. No, not considers. It is canon that Geralt and Yennefer are meant to be together. So he wrote a story about that happening, about them just having a wedding and everyone's there and everyone's happy. And I think that's what this is as well. Well, you know, you should probably play it. I'm just saying, you should probably play it. Just pretend that it's Triss if you're into that. You know, whatever floats your boat, do that. And the Merry Witchmas is just a funny one, honestly. I'm not going to play these because I don't like the fact that it's not voice acted. I can't really deal with that. But I would consider doing those on your own time if you don't mind it too much. Okay, is that everything that I wanted to say? I think that's everything I wanted to say. Never start up the game again for a Let's Play? Okay. We're going to continue on with The Witcher 2 now. For realsies. So we'll see you there on... what day is today? I have no idea. Several days. Have a lovely day, etc. Vaarwel.